Welcome to another episode of the Bottom of the Stream Movie Show. My name is Adam.
My name's Nick. Welcome back aboard the Streamboat.
First movie of 2023.
Yeah, we're dredging the stream, we're reeling in the nets, and we've pulled up the ledge.
We have indeed. There's lots of ropes in this.
Yeah,
We've done well to pull it up.
we have.
The Ledge was released in 2022. It's recent. It's from last year. It's a 15. It runs for 1 hour and 26 minutes. Short and nippy. And
Very
it's currently
much.
rated a 5.1 out of 10 on IMDb. Very middle of the road. Thoughts on 5.1?
It's high. Let's be honest.
I guess in comparison to some of the stuff we do, yeah, it's high.
Yeah. I'm not necessarily saying that makes it a bad film, but if you consider some of the stuff we see at like 4s and 3s,
Yeah.
I'd say this was comparable.
Yeah, I guess so.
Feels like a bit on the high side
Okay,
for me.
fair enough. We'll get through it and get
In terms of numbers.
This is a low budget British movie set in Italy, so there's not a lot of people in it that you're going to have heard of, I don't think.
Sure.
It stars a lady called Brittany Ashworth. She plays the character of Kelly. Again, I couldn't really find much out about her, to be honest.
Okay.
She's been in a few little bits and bobs here and there. Probably the most famous guy in this is a guy called Ben Lamb.
He is famous if you are interested in quite a certain type of movie.
Yes, absolutely.
And have access to Netflix.
Yes, he plays a character called Josh, and there's a franchise of Christmas movies on Netflix called The Christmas Prince.
Yeah.
And there's 4 of them. And he's in all 4 of them. He
Yeah.
plays Prince Roger or somebody.
He
Prince
does.
Rupert, something like that. He's also in Now You See Me Too,
Okay.
which is a big
I have
film.
seen that, but he didn't stick in my mind as being from that movie.
And he's also in Divergent
I've not seen that.
again. So
Okay.
you might have seen him around is what
Yeah.
we're getting at. Also stars Lewis Byer. He plays Zach. And Nathan Welsh. He plays Reynolds. He's in Am I Being Unreasonable?
Okay.
Which is Daisy May Cooper's newest TV
Yeah.
show. He's in a few episodes of that.
Okay.
I think he plays the hot teacher. Written by Tom Boyle, which is his only writing credit on IMDb, and in fact his only credit at all on IMDb.
Oh, wow.
And directed by Howard J. Ford, who appears to just do low-budget British movies.
Sounds better if you put an initial in your name.
Absolutely, of course it does. Better than Howard Ford, isn't it? He did a movie in 2021 called The Lockdown Hauntings. So if you want to get a gauge of what sort of movies he's doing, they're the sort of movies he's doing. This movie had a cinema release in one country in the world
Okay.
for one weekend.
Brilliant.
It made $324,000 in that one weekend in this one
that's
country.
all right for 1 weekend.
IMDb estimates the budget of this movie at $2.5 million. I think that's high. I don't think it's made by that. I don't think they've spent that much on it.
Yeah. I think I'd be inclined to agree with you.
But it made $324,000. Which country in the world do you think it was released in?
Can I rule a couple out
Yep.
first? I want to rule out England.
Correct.
Or slash the
You will
UK.
do well to rule that out.
I mean, the sensible money is, do you say Italy?
No.
But I want to rule that out as well,
Okay.
because that would be a boring answer. I'm going off the beaten track in terms of I don't think we're going out to America, and I don't think we're going into Europe.
Okay.
Let's go a bit random, but it's got to make a bit of money. It's a fairly big country. This made that money in one weekend in Thailand.
It did not.
God damn it.
One of the areas you ruled out is correct.
Oh, no.
It was released in Mexico
Oh, okay.
and made $324,000 in one weekend. It only had one weekend of release.
Oh, nice.
Where does this film start, Nick? No. That's the wrong question. What's your one-word review, Nick?
Woman on ledge.
Woman on ledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's not even on it. She's under it.
She's on it. She's under it. There's many ledges in this movie.
Yeah, but there's
tell
a
the
main
truth.
ledge. there's a main ledge. The
Well,
ledge.
I would
is
argue
named after
she's
the
on the secondary ledge.
ledge.
And
So
they
the
are
ledge-
on the main ledge.
They're on the ledge. She's on the secondary ledge. We'll get to that. Where does this movie start, Nick?
There's a mountain.
It does.
I had the subtitles on.
Okay.
And because I hadn't turned them off from whatever we watched last time. And as the camera pans up this huge mountain, nice cinematography.
Yeah.
To be fair, the subtitle just says "tense rock music." I was like, "Yeah, it's rock music. It's fucking massive rock."
That's brilliant. For what seems like the first time this season, there's no words or text on
No.
the screen and no voiceover.
No reading to do, no voiceover.
So that's good. I feel like it might have the award of the earliest montage.
Yeah.
So it starts with a montage.
We've got some slow motion rigging and carabiner action going on.
Ropes being rigged up
Yeah.
and carabiners being stuck together, whatever you call it, and mountains. Literally, as soon as the movie starts, we're straight into a montage.
Yeah.
And then we meet two girls. This is Kelly and
Sophie.
They arrive at
They're ensconced at a beautiful cabin at the base of a mountain, of some mountains, the Dolomites. We are in Italy.
We are in Italy. These two girls are at their cabin. They're already there.
Yeah.
They're just enjoying their day in this cabin. One's filming the other. She's got a video camera.
Kelly's very sad about a boy.
Okay.
We do not know why at this
We
stage.
do not know why at this stage, but she is very sad about the boy.
But they are on some kind of girls' trip to, we presume, forget about whatever's happened.
Yeah. Now, I don't know a lot about climbing.
Okay.
Now, this film was released last year, so presumably it's set last year.
If you want.
They've got a camcorder.
Yeah, it's
integral to the plot.
Retro tech, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, but I don't know if it's climbers use it because it's easier to manage when you're on a mountain than your phone, or I don't know.
You could argue, if we're really breaking it down, you're taking a camcorder if you're planning to film because you can get one for, I don't know, 20 quid.
Yeah, and you don't want to smash your phone up on a mountain.
Whereas your phone's 500 quid.
Yeah.
I think we're probably giving it a bit of credit.
Are we forgiving the use of a camcorder because it is integral
to
the plot?
I think it's absolutely just because the phones need to be somewhere else.
Yes.
As we will get to.
Yeah. Okay.
But
we will forgive it that because there is a reason why they might have had it.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I've written here, one of the girls is remembering her hot boyfriend.
Yes.
That's why she's sad.
Yeah.
That boyfriend was hot. I don't know who he was, but he was hot.
It was Luca.
He was Luca.
What was his name?
And then a group of...
You're still thirsty after the wave.
I am, sorry. And then a group of lads show up. They've come for their climbing holiday in the cabin next door.
I put some loud jocks arrive and eyeball the chicks because I feel like they would say chick.
Yeah, I feel like you're right.
Because all four of these guys are obnoxious.
But they're not like college age.
They're old.
Not old, but they're older than college.
They're like 30s,
mid-30s.
Yeah,
early to mid-30s, I would say.
They've all got like proper jobs and stuff.
Yeah, but they're
weekend, holiday,
lads' holiday, weekend retreat, reliving their youth.
Yeah,
I guess. And then they eyeball these two girls, and Josh is kind of the ipso facto leader of this group.
Sure.
He goes and knocks on the door and invites them to come and party.
He's like, well, yeah, we're partnering.
We're partnering.
We're partying here. We're climbing tomorrow, but tonight we're partying. Come and join us.
Yes, so he hits them with a couple of terrible pickup lines, which they call him out on, to be fair. But then they eventually say no, they don't want to come and party.
Yeah.
They've got a climb to do tomorrow. They're not going to come. I've written already, Josh is a prick. Very early on, Josh showed his true colours in this movie because Josh is a prick.
I mean, I know we don't have to have, layer upon layer in every character. But my God, this guy had to have been, certainly in my recent memory on this show, one of the most poorly drawn, just absolute trope central characters.
He's written as a psycho, and that is all he's got about him.
Yeah,
he's a psychopath.
And the fact that anyone is still a friend with him,
yes, or
has even opened the door to him, is just like he is. You're right. He is just a psycho from the off, and you can tell it
from the start.
Yeah,
it's made very clear to us from this start as well that the other three boys don't like him at all.
Yeah,
they just hang out with him because they always have.
Yeah.
And he does have some sort of blackmail against them. It appears to be blackmailing one of them at this point, but it turns out that he's blackmailing all of them. And later that night, we cut straight to the later. This film's very quick. Let's get this out there straight away. It's only on for 86 minutes, and it doesn't. There's no filler in this. It's literally scene to scene to scene. We're going straight for it. We're at night now, and they're there around a campfire, the boys and the girls. Yeah. Somehow they've changed their mind about partying with them.
Basically, I think there's a line to address it. I think Sophie says, "Well, look, we decided to come, but it's one drink.
We're just having one drink. We're not up for it." It turns out the boys only meet up for once a year to go climbing. Then this is that once this year that they're doing it.
And Josh is like, well, he's giving it all the big I am. We're here to climb. We're gonna climb up to the shoulder and then take the path up. And then and Sophie says, "You're a fucking pussy.
Yeah,
we're climbing the face.
Yeah,
we know what we're doing.
We're the best. The girls. It becomes very clear very quickly that the girls are better climbers.
They're
more experienced climbers.
They're here to they're doing the whole like dawn wall thing.
Yeah, whereas the boys are just here for a lads' weekend.
To be fair, probably my favourite part of this film was the fact that the character of Sophie is she really takes Josh on.
Yeah, she does.
She's like, I know
taking
better
any of
than
his
you.
bullshit.
Yeah, I'll put you down. You're a little man.
Yeah,
you got your friend.
Yeah, and Josh is like, well, I've got this really cool watch. Have you seen my really cool watch?
This was weird.
I was like, this was exposition. We needed this, we needed it later on. It's one of those. It happens quite a bit on this.
All the
show.
gear, no idea.
In the lower budget movies, we get this quite a lot. Of like this, we're going to show you this to the camera now because we need it later on in the film. He's got a watch that's got a locator beacon on, and I've even written here, well, that's definitely coming up again later on, and it does. Meanwhile, Stacey? Who's Stacey? Sophie decides to stay out, whereas Kelly decides she's going to bed. And Sophie, in the next scene that we're in, is kissing Josh.
Yeah.
She's drunk. She's getting off with Josh. We don't know what's happened in the meantime. She didn't seem to like him in the last scene, but in this one, she seems to really like him.
Just in front of the other three. They're just watching.
Yeah. Until they eventually warn him off because he's engaged.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I need to go for a piss.
Yeah, so they're like,
and
it was weird that they were just sitting watching them make out with
weird.
each other. I didn't really pick that up, but you're right. That was weird.
Like, we're still here.
Yeah.
And they say the other lads say to Josh, dude, what about your fiance?
Yeah, you've got a girl. You've got a fiance.
You need to cut this shit out.
Yeah, you're not a young man anymore. You can't do this anymore. And then he just instantly tries to rape her. There's no in between here.
Yeah.
He's like, 1 minute he's kissing her and they're getting on.
Next time he's stood behind her in the woods.
She's gone for a piss in the woods.
Yeah.
He's like now all over her trying to rape her. And I'm like, well, this has escalated very quickly.
Yeah. And then we get that intercut with a couple of shots of Kelly back in the cabin.
Yeah.
Watching on this video camera.
Yeah.
Her
boyfriend.
Her hot ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
Luca, who was teaching her to climb.
Yeah. He was a climbing teacher.
Yeah.
Sophie, the others all stop him doing a rape.
Yeah, they're like, cool it, dude.
Calm down.
You can't rape people.
Yeah. you can't do that. You're not a raper. And they grab him off. They literally
one of them rugby
tackles him off. And Sophie manages to escape into the woods. They can't allow this to happen because he's just attempted to rape her. So they all try and track her down.
But I didn't really get this because
they will do anything he tells them to do.
Yeah, he's like, oh, we can't let her escape. We've got to talk to her. Tell her it was got out of hand. And so they're just like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, all right, let's go and find her.
Having just stopped you raping her, we're now like back under your spell sort of thing.
It feels like he has some sort of hold over them. And he does. That comes out later on. But they have the same hold over him as he has over them. They're all as guilty as each other in that little thing. It turns out, it comes later on, but it turns out that they've crippled a boy.
Yeah.
By beating him back in the day because he was an Arab and one of their brothers was killed during the war.
Yeah. They're racist.
They're racists who have not murdered this boy, but really badly injured him to the point where he can't walk.
In a wheelchair.
He's in a feeding tube. And so Josh has that over the other three, but they have it over him as well. And that doesn't seem to come across as much. He's very much leading their lives.
I fucking hated this character of Josh.
Yeah.
Well, to call it a character is giving
it's not
it
even a character.
Service.
Yeah, it's just the film needs a psycho and it got one. It's basically what it is.
But it's just so, like I say, poorly drawn, and I'm like,
linear.
There's nothing to him. He's just a psychopath.
Yeah.
There's no drama there of him going over the edge, which is ironic considering this movie. It's just it's messed. Oh, yeah.
But anyway, the boys eventually find her. They track her down. They grab her. Josh punches her in the face.
Yeah.
And she falls off a cliff.
He punches her off a cliff.
That's exactly what I've written. Josh punches her off a cliff. They're holding her on the edge of this cliff face. He punches her in the face. She goes flying off.
She bites one of them, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. She scratches one of them as well. Kelly hears something while she's trying to sleep and goes to investigate. And the boys go down this cliff face to try and check on her to make sure she's dead or not dead.
Yeah, and Sophie's still alive.
Yeah, she is not
gurgling away.
Yeah, so Josh Zach, I think it was Zach wanted to call the police, or Reynolds wanted to call the police. One of them did.
One of the four of them wanted to call the police.
Josh stops that happening because she's not dead. This is where it comes out that they've done something similar to this before.
Yeah.
And then Josh picks up a rock and bashes her head in with it.
Yeah.
Finishes her off. But then he gives the rock to Zach.
Says, right, you got to do it.
And then he also does it, but a lot harder than Josh did.
Yeah.
And then, but he doesn't give it to the other two. He just rubs blood on their hands, so it looks like they've done it. It was a really weird scene. Really weird scene. But now Sophie is dead. However, they come up with this cover story.
Yeah.
Of how she died. She was drunk and going to climb this cliff.
Yeah, because he's like, Josh is like, you heard her bragging earlier. She could outclimb us.
Yeah.
Well, we had too many to drink, and she thought she'd show us. No equipment. She fell off.
What their cover story doesn't account for is the fact that she's just been bashed in the head twice with a rock.
Yeah.
In the face. Yeah. So she fell off backwards and
forwards.
And forwards. But, so they come up with this cover story, and then they decide that they need to throw her off another cliff.
So they'd cook her up again? Because they weren't on a cliff at this point.
Unless it's a double-edged cliff. No, they weren't. Yeah, so they pick her up in like all four of them have got a limb each.
Yeah.
Swing her and throw her off this cliff.
That they weren't on, but they are now.
Yeah, which appears to be like super high up.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Kelly's filming them.
I think this was my favourite unintentional laugh of this movie.
Go on.
Because Kelly is sort of round the corner.
Yeah, she's kind of caught up with them and sees all this.
And obviously, as they throw the dead body of her friend off the cliff, she gasps.
Yeah.
Or screams.
She's like, ah!
And that alerts them to her.
Yeah.
And Josh goes, it's Kelly. We need to get the camera. How the fuck does he know she's got a camera? She's like, I don't know,
they were a distance away.
Hid behind a rock.
Because she was filming earlier, I guess, and now she's still filming.
It just really made me laugh. Because the script literally goes, oh no, we need the camera. There's no way he could have known she had one.
It was stupid.
It really made me laugh.
There's lots of unintentional laughs in this film.
Yeah.
And there's another one coming right now. They see her, they chase her through this forest, woods, whatever it is. They lose her completely. Until one of them sees her, I think it was Reynolds, and
the guy who had a bit of a conscience earlier wanted to film,
and then he lets her go.
He says, "I won't say.
I won't say anything. Go and do whatever you're going to do." But then spends the rest of the film trying to get her again.
Yeah,
it's like you had her. What are you doing? It's bizarre. It's really bizarre.
Just convenient for the plot.
Yeah, it was. So she heads back to her cabin and she grabs a load of ropes and stuff.
She grabs a rucksack, which presumably is already packed for the morning. Yeah. I've got no problem with that.
No, nor me. They all chase her again. They all spot her coming out of the cabin. She went back for her gear.
Yeah.
And she starts climbing this sheer rock face that she was going to climb the next day anyway.
Between her getting and exiting the cabin with her rucksack.
Yeah.
And getting to the bottom of the rock face.
Yeah.
It's become daylight. As well, by the way.
That's actually listed as a goof on IMDb. Okay. The IMDb do not even think that's possible. Because it's like the sun came up super quick. And it really did. It was like that she had only just gone to bed.
Yeah.
Sophie gets murdered. She gets up. And then it's morning.
Yeah.
The night just disappears.
No, but I think it was still dim when she went into the
yeah, it was.
To get a rucksack. And it's definitely dark when he says to her, oh, I won't say I've seen you.
100%.
She goes straight into the cabin, grabs a rucksack, runs out.
Yeah.
By the time she's at the bottom of the mountain,
it's full
on daytime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Love it.
I love this sort of shit. And she starts climbing this rock face, which is, I suppose, sensible because she knows they can't do this.
Yeah.
She knows they can't chase her. Yeah, she's got the equipment on her back. She knows she can do it.
Yeah.
And she knows they can't do it because they've already had this conversation. I'm allowing this. This is fine. This is a sensible course of action. So she starts climbing. Taylor is the boy that we haven't really met much of so far.
I think, is he the one who's a lawyer?
Yes, I think so.
Like big city lawyer, and Josh is like, oh, look at you, all successful.
Seems to be the most accomplished climber out of them as well, because he chases her up this rock face.
He gives it a go.
He has a go.
He's not got any rope. He's just free climbing it.
Not a single piece of equipment.
In his like shirt and jeans.
She manages to drop her camera, which she's still holding.
Yeah.
And climbing.
She's not put that in the bag.
No. She manages to drop it and it lands in like this crevice. So They're like chasing each other to try and get to this camera.
Yeah.
She gets it back. She kicks him in the face. And he falls backwards off this rock face.
He does.
And brutally breaks his leg.
Yeah.
Horrible.
This is where the budget was on. It was on the prosthetics and the gore for this guy's broken leg.
It was not on the mannequin that they threw off that mountain.
No.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
It just drops like a mannequin and then hits the ground. And then he's lying there with this gruesome broken leg. Josh is shouting after her. She's kind of got away now. None of them are going to get up.
One thing probably to mention just for later on in the plot is as Taylor was closing in on it, he did manage to kind of open a rucksack and a lot of rope.
Yeah, all of her equipment, a lot of her stuff fell out. Nearly killed all the guys at the bottom. Yeah. It nearly brained them all. They take Taylor back to their cabin, so they leave her on this rock face at this point. Basically strap him up and fill him up with pills and painkillers.
And whiskey.
And
they said, this really made me laugh as well. Because they're like, tell you what, mate, just... You'll sleep it off. Yeah. It's only a flesh wound. He's got literally his bone sticking out his leg.
Yeah.
It's like, just wait 24 hours.
Yeah.
If we're not back in 24 hours, because we've got to go and take care of this little issue we've got, then call for help.
Yeah.
This guy's not lasting
He's not nowhere near lasting 24 hours. Yeah. Meanwhile, Kelly manages to find a perch on the rock face to have a stop and a drink.
The boys are at the bottom.
Yes.
So the three mobile males at the bottom of it.
And they're banking on her either falling off or freezing because it gets cold up there. And they also managed to find her phone at this point as well, which I assume dropped out of the bag when all those ropes did. Reynolds tries to convince Zach, not for the last time in this film, to turn Josh in.
Oh yeah, because Josh is like, "Oh lads, we're about ready to climb, but I forgot my gloves. Yeah, so I'm just gonna nip back.
Back to get them.
It's as weird as that.
Yeah, this is where he comes out about the guy that they paralysed. I've written here, Josh went back for his gloves, think he's killed Taylor.
Obvious.
Pretty obvious that's where he was going. Kelly is still climbing. She's having visions of her hot boyfriend as she's going.
He's like, if she's a climbing Luke Skywalker, he's her like Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Because you hear his voice guiding
her up this mountain. She's also really fucking good because she can climb a sheer rock face and get a map and a pen out of her bag and check it at the same time. Yeah. There's numerous times in this film where she is not holding on to that rock face.
Bear in mind as well, she is not clipping in.
No, there's no ropes.
Nothing.
There's various times on this movie where she is standing on a sheer rock face and not holding on.
Yeah.
And it made me laugh. This was the first time, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? It looked like she was just leaning on this rock forwards.
Yeah.
Facing the rock with both of her hands. And she's got a map. What's she looking at?
Well, I presume...
She's going up. That's all she needs to know.
Yeah, but I presume, going back from the fact that everything I know about...
climbing comes from the dawn wall.
Yeah. Was the fact that they were mapping out their route up
so she had an idea of where she was going.
But obviously you do that pre. She's literally doing it as she's climbing. Oh, where do I need to go next?
She's got both of her hands off the rock face.
Because she decides she needs to like traverse sideways to carry on the climb.
She's either got really strong toes or she was not really on this mountain.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. My next note says snake in big capital letters.
Yeah, just a random snake.
Just randomly climbing up. It's on her hand.
Yeah.
Which is now back on the rock face. Again, it's something we need later on. So let's just establish that the snake's
on this. It wasn't the same snake.
No, it wasn't the same snake.
There are snakes.
There are snakes on this rock face. That's what we needed to know. The boys then start their ascent. They start climbing. They're going a lot slower. She drops her water bottle when she has another stop to have a drink, which again takes both of her hands off the wall. And the boys see it fall, so he starts shouting at her.
And it's really bad. It's like,
it's terrible.
Josh is like, you dropped your water bottle, and then he takes a swig of his and went, this
delicious.
Water's great. I'm like, you are the worst.
And then he starts
merchant.
Then he starts texting himself from her phone.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why he was doing that.
Well, he was trying to, again, thinking he's clever, going, I'm going to post on your Facebook. Oh, these guys we've met are really hot. I think I kind of like the one called Josh.
Part of the cover story.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. She completely ignores him and starts moving again.
She doesn't... So, the girl who plays Kelly has very few lines in this movie.
Yeah, she barely speaks at all.
From leaving the campfire and saying goodnight
Yeah.
to virtually the end of this movie. She doesn't have a line.
No, she doesn't.
And I'm not going to say it's a great performance by her, but it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she's fine.
As a sort of, person in peril, she's not bad.
No.
She's not bad.
She's not. She starts climbing again. He starts shouting after her. She can hear him. She's just choosing to ignore him. Her hands start cramping up. And she manages to find a bit of rope that is already tied to the mountain.
Yeah, left by a previous climber.
So
I can buy that.
Yeah, she manages to get a hold of it. She gets some wire out of her rucksack and pulls it closer. Manages to use it to swing over a gap in the wall. The boys are now climbing up the back passage.
Yeah,
we're basically walking up it because it's just
they've stuck to their plan, which was going to be for their fun climb. So they've climbed up the first part of the face, but then there's a trail up to the top.
Yeah, so they can get ahead of her and above her, basically. Then she finds a disused tent on a ledge. It's obviously been left there by somebody else.
Yeah.
We've seen it in the dorm wall. People camp out on sides of rock faces. So she could use that. But then the boys appear on the ledge above her, and we're now at the ledge.
She's basically got to the top of this sheer rock face.
Yeah, or to
in the first,
certainly to this point where she was heading.
Yeah.
So if you can imagine it now, it's a sheer rock face, but there's like a ledge sticking out.
Yeah,
there's enough for these three boys to stay on.
Yeah,
they're on it, and she's underneath it on a smaller ledge, secondary ledge,
where there's barely room for her to
stand up.
Yeah,
and this other ledge is also above it, so she's sheltered. They can't see her. She can't see them.
They can't get to her. But she can't get to them.
10 feet away, probably, if that. And she has this tent.
And just to the right of her is this tent.
Yeah. So she sets up the tent. Basically, she manages to hang it from the rock above. And they're basically shouting down at her, saying, "Look, we just want the camera."
They don't know she's got this tent.
No, they don't.
So
they're not aware of that.
Because they just want to wait her out.
Yeah, so she's like, "Give us we're going to throw a rope down to you, tie the camera to it. We'll pull it back up, and then this is all over.
Yeah,
that's all we want is the camera." She basically ignores this rope, doesn't tie anything to it, and then so they throw it down again. She then writes "fuck you" on the back of her map, and ties that to it, which angers Josh something rotten. And I think that's the point where he's like, "Right, I'm killing this bitch."
He is like, I can't believe that a girl is besting me. That's literally the sort of depth of this guy's psyche.
Yes. She straps up her fingers. Her fingers are all ripped as ribbons because she's climbed this wall all the way up. She's taping them up. The boys decide to wait her out. She's going to freeze or she's going to fall. They're still using this tactic. So we just need to wait up here. So they all go to sleep. The three boys bed down. She beds down in this tent. Reynolds confides in Zach that he thinks Josh is a psycho. I think this was pretty obvious from the start. They just
appear now to be realising that Josh probably isn't going to let Kelly live.
Yes. Yeah.
And they kind of have this
is where
epiphany together, don't they?
This is where we get the full story of the Arab that they beat up and paralysed. Kelly fixes up the tent. She hangs it from the ledge. She gets in it. The boys have got some food. They're much more well prepared than she is. And this is where Josh is reading through Kelly's phone, and this is where he finds out that the hot boyfriend died on a climb a year ago tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's an anniversary of his death climb that Kelly and Sophie were doing.
It's a tribute climb.
And they all bed down for the night. She gets in this tent. They all get in their sleeping bags.
I thought that we were going to have again, a plot point being here that, she lost her jacket in the chase through the woods.
Yeah.
It's cold. She's climbed half a mountain. She's up high. It's really cold.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, when she got into the tent, she shivered a bit. But it was never
it wasn't
expanded on at all in the movie.
Other than the fact that the boys were going to wait for her to freeze or fall, then no, it wasn't. While she's asleep, the boys come up with Josh comes up with a tactic to swing a bag full of kit at her.
Yeah.
So he's basically tied this bag to this rope, swung it over the ledge and trying to hit her off, basically, trying to knock her off. But she manages to grab it.
It bounces off the tent, obviously.
Yeah, which they didn't know was there. And so she grabs this bag, hangs from this bag.
Well, just before that, so I'd forgotten about this, but this might have been my even bigger unintentional laugh, is when the bag swings against the tent, and we're supposed to believe it knocks her out of the door.
Yeah, it knocked
but
her
it
out
looks
of the
like
door
she
of the
just
tent.
jumps. And I was like, that is terrible.
Yeah, it did.
Just don't do it.
Yeah.
Because it looks awful.
So it did. It knocked her out of the tent.
Yeah.
She grabs it, falls off the ledge. So she's just hanging from this bag now.
Yeah.
Her bag falls off and her bag's hanging from her foot.
Yes.
So it's like a cartoon moment, this bit. And Josh looks over the edge and he can see her now. He can see her dangling from this bag. So he's like, fuck, all I need to do is cut the rope.
Yeah.
We're done. He cuts the rope. They're not done because she manages to fly back to her ledge, grabs it with her fingers and gets back in her tent.
Yeah.
And then just appears to go to sleep. Forget that ever happened.
Yeah, she's like, oh, they're not going to try anything again.
She managed to keep her bag as well. She's fine with that. She goes to sleep. And then she gets waken up again by a knife coming through the tent.
Sure.
This film's ludicrous. Zach is hanging from a rope this time.
Yeah, they've rigged him up.
Yep.
He's just stabbing the tent.
He's stabbing the tent. He manages to stab her at one point. He's just going for the camera. He's going for the bag, stabbing at everything, shredding the tent, and
We repeat the previous scene.
Yeah.
So instead of hanging from the bag, she's hanging from him.
She's hanging from his trousers.
Yeah.
With her bag again hanging from her foot.
Yeah.
Josh sees this time, pulls them up. This guy is Superman now because he's pulling up her bag, his bag, Josh and Kelly.
Yeah.
Josh and Reynolds are pulling Zach and Kelly. As he's pulling her up, she stabs him in the arse with his own knife.
Yeah. She throws her bag back into the tent so the camera's safe.
Yeah, the camera's safe again.
Josh has got a handful of her hair.
Yeah.
And he's pulling her up by the hair.
Yeah.
So she uses the knife to cut her own hair off.
She does. And stab him in the ass. She falls again. So this is the second time she's fallen now.
Yeah.
She again grabs the tent this time. And then the tent falls.
Yeah.
So she's lost the tent now. So she's now just back on this small ledge, just with her bag. She's still got her bag, and she still has the camera, crucially.
Correct.
Reynolds and Zach say to Josh...
They try to regroup, don't they?
Let's regroup.
That's not worked.
She doesn't have anything now. She can't go anywhere. Let's just go. She will fall or she will freeze. They're going for this all the way through. She can't go up. She can't go down. She will fall. So
let's make the call.
Yeah.
Say there's been an accident.
Yeah.
Kind of a bit like the plan that we had before.
Cool.
These girls have fell.
Yeah.
We tried to save them. Taylor back at the tent, is it?
Yeah.
He also fell.
Yeah. It's just been a huge accident.
Yeah.
Josh agrees. He's like, "Yep, let's do that, but let's do it first thing in the morning. Let's just wait until sun's up. We'll go down. We'll get it sorted first thing in the morning." Zach tells Reynolds that now he thinks that Josh has gone back and killed Taylor. Pretty sure that's what has happened.
Yes.
Pretty sure that is what happened.
And Zach's like, actually, I've not really told you this before, but Josh has not really got a girlfriend either.
Yeah. He was cheating on his fiancée and she left him months ago, basically.
Yeah. And he's lost I think he says he's lost 30 million from his father-in-law's company or something ridiculous.
Bullshit we don't need. But so Zach says to Reynolds, what we need to do is activate this emergency beacon on Josh's watch that he's wearing. This was the most ludicrous scene. But this beacon got activated earlier on and it makes a fucking heck of a noise when it goes. It's just beeping constantly. And Reynolds was like, yeah, let's do that. Obviously, Josh catches him.
Yeah. He
says, if you wanted to know the time, you could have just asked. If he'd have set off that beacon, he would have woke up anyway. So I don't know what they were even thinking about here. And then Josh revealed, the big reveal of this movie, I guess. Josh reveals that he's been banging Zach's girlfriend since college.
Yeah.
20 years maybe they've been banging. Zach doesn't think that his girlfriend even likes Josh.
Yeah.
But it turns out they've been banging every week when she goes to Pilates. They've been banging. And unfortunately, everybody knew except for Zach.
Yeah.
Reynolds knew, Taylor knew. So, yeah. That didn't go down very well. They have a bit of
all
a
absolute
fight.
pieces of shit.
Yeah, they are.
And so annoying. So annoying.
Josh then decides he's going to offer Kelly some money. He tries to buy her off this mountain.
Yeah, it's just how much do you want?
Everyone's got a
Give me
price.
that
How much
camera
do you
back.
want? Then this happens. And I'm like, what the hell kind of movie are we watching?
Yeah, so Zach goes for a piss. He
Zach
pisses
goes for a
off the
piss,
edge
so,
of the
yeah.
cliff.
Just pissing off the edge of the cliff.
Just straight up murders him.
Yeah, just hammer to the back of the head. Well, it's like what do they call those things that they climb mountains with?
Hammers.
No, it's not a hammer.
Yeah,
It's like a climbing axe type thing. Yeah, axed him in the back of the head.
pushes
Just for no reason. He has no reason to want to murder Zach. He just has. He's gone full psycho.
Yeah.
If he wasn't full psycho already, he's gone full psycho. So Kelly obviously sees Zach's body fall.
He does. Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Past her, which freaks her out, obviously. Reynolds sleeps through the whole thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know what's happened. When he wakes up, Josh tells him that Reynolds is taking the trail to go and get some help. He's gone back down on his own.
Yeah, it's just us two.
Bearing in mind, Zach recently has been stabbed in the ass. Reynolds seems to have forgotten this. Reynolds says, look, let me go down to her. Tie me off.
Yeah, I'll kill her.
I'll go down to her. I'll grab the camera. She thinks I'm friendly anyway.
Yeah.
And then I'll finish her off. I'll just push her off this cliff. So he does. He goes down. He offers her some food. He tells her that Zach's gone to get help. She obviously knows that's not true. She saw Zach fall. She tells Reynolds she saw Zach fall.
Yeah, well, Reynolds says, give me the camera.
Yeah.
I'll go and take care of Josh. I'll make sure you're safe.
Yeah.
Just, I need the camera to show him we've got some.
Yeah. She's like,
my friend's gone to get help. And she says,
your friend's not gone to get help. Your friend fell past me about 10 minutes ago. And you're probably going to fall next because you're hanging from a rope now and he's right above you. But she does give him the camera. And then she fake screams as if she's been pushed off this mountain, which she somehow managed to do whilst it sounded like she was falling.
It did.
It got quieter as she screamed. I don't know how she did that. It was quite clever.
Falling.
Yeah, what exactly like that. Reynolds goes back up. He's got the camera. Josh is quite happy that Reynolds has got the camera. However, Reynolds doesn't have the memory card in the camera because Kelly's clever enough to have taken that out. Reynolds then calls Taylor's phone for some reason. I want to speak to Taylor.
Yeah.
But that Josh has
Josh's pocket rings.
Yeah, Josh's pocket rings. So they start fighting. I really didn't like this bit. This was.
I'm not really sure how this occurred.
You know when sometimes we watch these films and they go too far.
Yeah.
This film goes too far at this point for me. They have a fight. Josh manages to hog tie Zach.
Yeah.
Like ties his
Reynolds.
feet and his Reynolds. Sorry, ties his hands and his feet together. Sets him on fire.
Yeah.
And then pushes him over the edge of the cliff.
And dangles him in front of Kelly to taunt her.
So he's dying of being burned alive whilst dangling off a cliff while she's watching mere meters away.
Eventually, the fire burns through the rope.
And he falls to his death.
Yeah.
And I've just written, geez, that was a lot.
Yeah.
That was... This movie had a tone until that point, and then this is kind of like, okay, yeah, that might have been a little bit too much for me.
And I think there is a sort of, and it is because of that Josh character. There's a real nasty undertone to this movie, and it's just like I get what sort of movie this is, but it doesn't have to be this nasty.
That I was all right with it until that point, and then I'm like, yeah, you've pushed it a little bit too far there.
Yeah.
This man
for no reason.
No, it didn't need to happen. He should have cut her off. He should have cut him off when he was dangling the last time. Also, why is he all of a sudden just murdering his mates?
Yeah.
It's so bizarre. I've written here sometimes these films go too far. We find out now that Hot Boyfriend died.
I'm sorry, I really laughed at this bit as well. This flashback.
Hot Boyfriend was halfway up a climb with Kelly.
Yeah, he was just behind her.
He was just behind her. He had an engagement ring in a box.
Yeah.
He drops the engagement ring into a crevice. Can't alert Kelly that he needs to go back a little bit because she will know why. So unties himself from his ropes.
Yeah.
Manually climbs down
so he can reach the
to reach the ring. She looks back. He's got the ring out as if he's about to propose. And then he just falls off.
He slips, yeah.
He just slips and falls to his death.
But it just looked like he pushed himself.
It looked like he pushed himself back. Again, it was a mannequin sliding down a hill.
Yeah.
It was silly.
What a way to go. Mid-proposal.
Yeah. Yeah, literally mid-proposal.
Technically, they weren't even engaged.
No, they weren't. Just hot boyfriend, not hot fiance.
A year ago today.
The year ago to the day. We then cut back to Kelly for a little bit. There's another snake.
Yeah.
She spotted another snake on the side of the mountain. She also finds a big knife stuck in the rocks. Where did that come from?
One of them had dropped it when they were coming down earlier. I
Okay.
think it might have been the first fight.
Okay.
It just
managed to get stuck in the rocks right
Yeah.
next to her. So that's your setup now. She's got a knife. She also knows where there's a snake.
Yeah.
Josh then abseils down to her, grabs her leg. They both grab each other's legs at one point.
They do. So
They kind of have a scuffle. He's after the memory card for the camera. He's still not trying to throw her off. He could have easily got her off at this point. Could have easily thrown her off at this point.
She says, "I've not got it.
I've not got it. I've managed to secure it.
I've hidden it cliff.
On this cliff. You will never find it. But one day somebody will.
Yeah.
And then they'll know what you did. And then she's like, actually, it's in this hole over there.
Yeah.
Because she tells him straight away. She's like, there's a hole over there.
He says, tell me where the card is.
Yeah.
You can have your engagement ring back. Because he snatched it off her earlier.
Yeah.
And she instantly goes, oh, it's in that hole there.
Yeah. He puts his hand in the hole. The card's not in there. Guess what is in there? Snake bites him through his glove in his hand. He punches her
he's
a
really
lot
angry now.
at this point. He's really angry. She's managing to hold on to this rock face. Bearing in mind, this is a tiny ledge.
Yeah.
She's holding on whilst she's being punched in the face a lot. Her mate took one punch and died. Just put that out there. Then she cuts his rope, so he's now free handling
She
off.
kicks him in the balls.
She kicks him in the balls a few times, stabs him a few times. They're both hanging on. He's getting weak because of this snake bite, I assume. He starts begging at one point.
Yeah.
Don't let me die.
He's hanging from the ledge at this.
Yeah.
She's standing above him.
She manages to get her ring back off him. And then she pulls the beacon switch on his watch, which makes his watch beep a lot. And then basically stamps on his hand until he falls off.
Yeah. Josh
falls to his death. So she has her ring in her hand and the memory card in her hand now.
She does.
She has everything's out. Sun's out. This next morning, sun's come out again.
Yeah, she waits until daylight and then she just climbs up.
Yep. Hot boyfriend says it's time.
Yeah.
Does his Obi-Wan Kenobi bit. She starts climbing. She manages to get to the top. The boys were adamant that she couldn't go up or down, but she manages to get up quite easily.
She does.
She starts climbing. She gets to the very top of the mountain, and there's a cross on the top.
There is. And just in the distance, you hear approaching sounds of a helicopter.
Was the cross for her boyfriend? Or is it just a massive cross?
No, I just presumed it denoted the summit of the climb.
Fair enough. Yeah, and then you can hear helicopters in the distance, and the film ends.
Yeah.
With Kelly as the sole survivor in this thriller of a movie.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I wouldn't have minded it if it was more fun.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I think
this sort of streak of nastiness to it
did
just really put me off.
Do you think the Josh character ruined it slightly?
100%.
Because he was just too much.
It was too much of a caricature.
Yeah, he wasn't driven psycho by the events.
No.
He was a psycho.
Yeah.
And he was basically a murderer on a mountain. He was out there to kill people. He wasn't out there for any other reason.
Sure.
That's how it came across.
Yeah.
But that's not how it was supposed to.
I think it was supposed to be like this situation develops. It's a obviously it was a horrible person anyway, but the night's gone wrong. It's took this turn. Then he tried to do the rape, and then we accidentally murdered. But it's like it came across like no, he just punched her off the cliff.
Yeah,
and
he was going to rape her.
Always just
he then was going to murder her. He did murder her.
There's just no characterization. It ruined the whole thing for me. I think I don't have a problem with this as a concept. I
think as a concept, it's a great idea. It's a really good idea for a thriller film.
If you'd have done this correctly and made a really strong female character, I don't know, she wins out in the end. And there's occasions where you think Kelly's character is handled quite well. She does best them. She is a strong female character, but it's not. It's done on the cheap, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
I think there's a missed opportunity here where this could have been a fun time, and I didn't have fun.
Okay, that's fair.
It didn't drag or anything.
No, it did. The best thing about this film,
but I was like, I don't think I'm enjoying this because it's just nasty. It's nasty.
It was nasty. What was good about it is that it was zippy. It flew through. It was There was always something going on, and it was never dull. It was never boring. There was always something going on. It has got a nasty strength to it. That character of Josh is too much, and that death of that guy is far too much. It really was like, it threw me out of it completely. That being said, I didn't hate it. I thought it was an interesting story that they told quite well. And I think I said last week on this show, when we did another round, that isn't the sort of movie we should be doing on this show. This is the sort of movie.
Oh,
we should be
100%.
doing. This is
stupid.
This is a stupid,
I
low
laughed
budget.
quite a lot at this.
Yeah.
At no point is there a laugh in this movie.
No, not an intentional one.
No.
But there's lots of unintentional ones. But so I think I gave it a bit of a pass because I was happy to be doing a movie that this is the kind of movie I like to watch. So I think it came back to me as like, this is a bottom of the stream movie, and we're going to have a lot of fun with this episode. This is 100% a bottom of the stream movie.
But yeah, I was really off put by that character.
That character
it was
is
like
too much.
misogynistic, evil,
homophobic,
ego-driven jock up to 100. We haven't even talked about the number of times this guy is like protesting. I don't like cock. I don't like guys.
Yeah,
don't call me gay. That's the worst thing you could ever.
Yeah, there's loads
like,
of homophobic slurs
really
towards the beginning as well.
Yeah,
he calls a few of the guys some unfortunate names at the beginning. He's beat up an Arab, so he's a racist as well. There's just so much going against Josh's character that he just puts you right off it.
It's too much.
It is too much. Yeah. And then when he does that murder at the end, I'm like, that finished the film for me. I was like, I can't be on board with that. It was a horrible way to kill somebody. And it wasn't done in a fun, oh, look what's happening now kind of way. It was a really vicious, horrible murder. And it really
didn't
took me
add
out.
anything to this movie.
I understand why he needed to kill him. He didn't need to do what he did. Yeah. And I understand. Even it's not even trying to scare Kelly off, because what's she going to do? She can see it anyway. She's not going to just go, oh, that was scary, and just jump off, is she? I don't know if enjoyed is the right word. I liked this movie a bit, and I didn't hate watching it.
I like the concept of this movie.
Yes.
But cliffhanger it ain't.
Nice. What's the best thing about it?
It probably is. I'm sorry, I've not got a name. The performance of
Brittany Ashworth.
Yeah.
Sound right?
Brittany Ashworth's performance as Kelly.
Yeah,
she's got a lot to do. It's not her fault that it's a terrible script.
No.
That they're terrible characters.
She had barely any lines.
And that we've got a dodgy, rock effects where she's clearly been directed, oh, you need to mark this map.
Yeah.
Well,
but I'm not holding on
physically,
anymore.
I couldn't do. That's an impossible thing.
You to stop and have a drink.
A human to do.
She does it loads as well. It's not like the one time. She's never got her hands on that cliff face. She just does it all with her feet. It's crazy.
But having said all that, her performance is the best performance in this movie, and it's probably the best thing about this movie.
I don't really have any issue with the other three guys in it. They weren't really anything.
They're there to be bodies.
Yeah. What would you change about it?
Don't think it's too much to ask for, even despite its low budget and poor script. I don't think it's too much to ask for to have a bit more depth to these characters.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you need to tone down Josh's character in a big way.
More shades of grey those guys.
You don't need to have him. In fact, it actually helps the movie for him not to have done something like this before. That he doesn't need to have been a murderer or attempted murderer before. He just needs to be driven psycho by the situation that he's in.
Yeah, for a thing, everything's gone wrong. All this
he's accidentally murdered a girl, which has been caught on camera, and he needs to solve that.
Yeah, and he's panicking.
And he needs to be driven insane by that, not by the fact that he was already a psycho before.
Yeah.
And now he's just murdering people because he likes doing that.
Yeah.
It felt like a really off character, and it ruined the movie. But yeah, it's a strange one.
Yeah.
That's what I'd change. I think you just need to tone back that character a little bit.
Yeah,
and then you were right then. You're fine then. Yeah, is what you said. Stream table?
Sure.
There's 8 films in the stream table currently. Do you want me to read them out to you?
Yeah, do it. Please.
8 is Smart Christmas. 7, Needle in a Time Stack. 6, Another Round, last week's movie. 5, The Cleanse. 4, The Giver. 3, Double World. 2, Nature Reborn. 1, currently at the top of the stream, is Old People. Where does this go?
Yeah, I think this could be an interesting conversation because I feel like we had the same issues with this movie.
Yeah.
And I think we probably liked it. I feel like we liked it about the same.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm going to put it lower than you.
Okay.
That's my gut feeling.
I feel like listening to you tell me about it has made me change my opinion on it slightly. Because I wasn't as negative on it maybe when I finished watching it. But now you've said some of the things you've been saying. That kind of makes sense. And I'm like, yeah, it was nasty. And it was like,
Yeah, it was, but arguing against myself slightly, I think it was because of what this movie is, and it's not trying to be cliffhanger or anything amazing. And it's just like I found all those things off-putting and annoyances, but I understand what the limits of this movie are.
Yeah. I think if you just stuck this on a Saturday night,
but I don't think that means we should give it a free pass.
No, absolutely not.
Those
absolutely
issues.
Not. No, I think if you put this on a Saturday night with a pizza and a Magnum, and you've just got it on whilst you're chatting away to your missus or something, you're not going to have gone to the same depth that we've gone to it. And I think you might get something
without that nasty streak. This movie is what I expected this movie was going to be.
That's fair. Yeah,
that just took me by surprise.
Yeah.
I think I'm like,
it's just ruined by that one character. Unfortunately, it's just too much. That being said, you pick a place, I'll pick a place, and we'll see where we are.
Okay.
I know where I'm putting it.
I am putting it. I'm putting it there or there. I've got it either side of something. I am putting it 7th.
Below Another Round?
Yes.
Okay, we're not that far apart.
Okay.
I had it above Another Round.
Okay.
I'm negative on Another Round because of what it is. I didn't enjoy it, and I don't think I want to even contemplate talking about it again. I think this is I can't.
No, you can't.
You
can't say that.
That film won an Oscar. This one is not even close. I got more out of this movie than I did out of that movie.
Okay.
Personally, I don't think it's. in my opinion, this is solely in my opinion. This is a better movie for me, but I understand why it isn't a better movie.
Yeah, it's not a better movie, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah. For me,
I mean, the anarchist in me is very. Something really appeals to that side of me to say, put this above that Oscar-winning movie. I'm not going to lie to you. My objectiveness says it's the other side of it.
Objectively, this time last week, 2 weeks ago, we sat here and said Another Round is not a good movie. We both didn't like that movie.
Yeah.
We at all. We both didn't like that movie. If you made me watch one of them again, I'm watching this again because I don't want to ever watch Another Round again.
I didn't really like. I don't think I liked this movie, but if someone says to me, "You've got to watch one again," I'm putting this on.
Yeah, exactly. And this is just a more entertaining story, even with the negative sides to it. This is better than Another Round.
My caveat would be, so I'm prepared to go with you on this, quite frankly, insane decision. With the caveat that I think there is now, for the first time in this season's stream table, a big gap.
Yeah, between this and The Cleanse.
Between the top 5 and the following 4.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think
for me,
this doesn't compete with The Cleanse at all.
Yeah,
it's the Cleanse
maybe just below it
better, maybe.
in the list,
but
there's a big gap there in reality.
Are we happy with that? We're going for 6th.
Yeah, let's just
by the end of the season,
rip up
this is low.
Fucking sheet on this one.
Those 4 there. Smart Christmas, Needle in a Time Stack, Another Round, and The Ledge. They're going to be together, but low by the end of the season. They'll be in the 20 region.
Yeah,
if not lower than that. So I wouldn't worry about it being 6 right now because it will not stay there.
Oh, no way. No way.
Hopefully it doesn't anyway. Fucking hell. Happy?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually am. I think
it's fair.
I don't know if it's fair, but it appeals, like I say, it does appeal to the troublemaker in me that we have it above an Oscar-winning movie.
Yeah, well, we've got 6 films above an Oscar-winning movie now.
There you go.
That being said, do you want to pick next week's movie?
Let's do it.
What are you looking for? What do you want? What do you want to watch?
I'm not sure how you follow that.
No, nor me.
To be honest, let's have. After having watched The Ledge this week, I'll put genre aside and say, give me some characters I can actually believe.
Okay.
I think.
Shall I press the button?
Yeah, go for it.
It has picked a movie called The Mansion.
Okay.
Any idea what The Mansion is?
Only because I feel like I have seen it on our list for some time.
I think it's one of the OGs.
Might be. I think it's been on there for a while.
I think it's been on there definitely for a long time.
And I think it's like a bit of a murder mystery type movie.
I think it is. It's a French/Belgian movie where the languages spoken are French, English, and Spanish.
Lovely.
So it's going to be multicultural. Do you want the synopsis?
I really would.
It says, a bunch of friends, live wires and web addicts decide to celebrate the new year in an isolated manor house with no coverage, a big first for them. But as soon as they arrive, strange occurrences disturb the festive atmosphere and the party turns into a genuine nightmare. Their minibus is out of commission, their first murders occur and panic breaks out. Trapped in the manor house, they will have to stay together to get out alive and discover who has it in for them. It sounds like live action Traitors. It's set in New Year's Eve and it is January, so we're in the right type of world for it. And
yeah, sure.
It's even got all the pictures on the wall like the Traitors. We're watching the Traitors movie. Currently rated at 4.6 out of 10 on IMDb.
Okay.
It's from 2017. It's a bit older than this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, go out and watch The Mansion. And in the meantime, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd. Our username is @BOTS_podcast on all three of those. If you want to drop us an email, our email address is bottomofthestream@gmail.com and our website is bottomofthestream.com. On the website, you will find every episode we've ever recorded, all the stream tables, loads of other cool stuff, and you can even get some merch if you want to buy a Bottom of the Stream
hat, scarf, and gloves
set.
Nice. It's getting cold.
It is getting cold. After you've done all of that, head over to Patreon, patreon.com/bottomofthestream. On there, for a couple of quid every month, you will get early access to episodes. You will get bonus episodes. You will get a newsletter that Nick writes every month. And if you come in at the top level, you can have a wild card, which means you can pick the film we watch. And we will talk about it in our next episode. And you might win a prize if you pick the best one.
If you can spare a few minutes, please consider leaving us a review and or a rating anywhere you can review and rate podcasts. We're on all of those major players: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Podchaser, iHeartRadio, Pandora. We're all over all of that shit. So come find us.
We'll are there. Indeed. We'll be on all of them. And if we're not, let us know and we'll get on it. You cut me off before I mentioned Discord.
Sorry.
The Discord link is in the show notes. In the Discord, you will meet loads of cool people who will talk to you about films. They'll talk to you about anything. They'll talk to you about their bloody man crushes if you want them to. We play games. We do watch-alongs in there sometimes. We've got all sorts of calls. We've got a watch-along coming up. Well, we should have one coming up pretty soon. And yeah, come and join us in the Discord. The Discord link will be in the bottom of the show notes.
It is truly a fun time in there. It is guaranteed.
Come and join us. Go out and watch The Mansion. And then we'll be back next week for The Wave on Monday and the movie show on Thursday.
Cheers.
Bye.